Corvairs face off against the 8-14-4 7th place Fort Erie Meteors. Good evening, welcome to the HCCC. I'm John Molson. The Corvairs squeaked by the Junior Canadians Sunday night in Welland by a score of 2-1. Caledonia extended their division lead to 12 points. Matt Hoare had the game winner at 16:22 of the third. Luke Sinclair and Justin Abraham drew the assists. There was no scoring in the first. Jordan Peacock had the game-winning goal at 15:17 of the second. Nathan Gomes and Jake Brown had assists. Mark Sinclair made his second start for the Corvairs, making 17 of 18 saves. Chris Jansen made 31 of 33 saves in the loss for Welland.
Junior B hockey. This evening the Corvairs host the Fort Erie Meteors. Would you please?
Tonight's starting goaltenders for the fourth matchup of the year between the Fort Erie Meteors and the Caledonia Corvairs. In net for Fort Erie, number 1, Liam Conway. He's registered a 7-11-3 record on the year. That's 7 wins, 11 losses, 3 shootout losses, a .347 goals against average, and a .896 save percentage. Kevin Entma winning the goaltender of the month for the month of November. Entma currently out on injury. The reason for Mark Sinclair in from the Hamilton Junior Red Wings of the OJHL. As the crowd gives Entma a round of applause for the Goaltender of the Month award for the month of November.
Richard's going to stay out there, make another presentation for the November Defenseman of the Month. Number 97, Todd Ratchford. Make that 95. 2 seconds.
Ratchford with 6 goals and 8 assists on the season for 14 points.
For the month of November, scoring 3 goals and 6 assists. Let's hear it for Todd Ratchford, number 95.
The Corvairs sweeping the 3 awards in the month of October as well. As we get set for the opening draw, the game about to start between the Fort Erie Meteors and the Caledonia Corvairs. In net for tonight for the Corvairs, number 30, Mark Sinclair. Sinclair making his 3rd start of the year, a .50 goals against average and a .974 save percentage. Jacob Bush to start the game at center for the Corvairs opposite Wade Kenny. And Bush wins the draw across to Gomes, and Gomes immediately drops it back to the Caledonia defense. Peacock on the right wing, loses it at the line, and it's cleared out by Kenny and picked up by the Caledonia defense on the left side. That's Ryan Moran, or Ratchford, excuse me. Played it to Van Horn, back to Ratchford and into the far corner, and Fort Erie now intercepts. Declan Conway bringing it down the right side, fires a quick wrist shot, and Sinclair getting a piece of that before Ratchford breaks it up on the near side board. Bush from center. The Meteors toss it in down the far side and immediately go off on a change. Ratchford turns around on the forecheck by Riley Hollowell. And it's played down the far board by Van Horn. Touched by Ratchford, tries to swat it ahead beside the Caledonia bench. Picked up by Luke Sinclair. Cleared to the far side. Tanev to the far board and chipped in by Hoare. Liam Conway played it in behind his own net, side of the net. Hoare with a chance there, and knocked to the corner by Joe Costello. Sinclair from the end line, throw it to the sideboard. And a second opportunity there. Sinclair was at the far side, wrapped it around the near corner, tried to find Abraham at the far point. But Abraham missing the pass and having to go back into his own zone to regroup. A shot by Sinclair and a save by Conway on the far corner as a Fort Erie Meteor decked at the far corner and falling to the ice. Josh McAuliffe, the defender on the left side, getting up and skating off, and a face-off from the right circle. Fort Erie zone. Diantino brings it up the far board. Broken up by Moran. Back to the side wall for Patton. Patton the clear out. And picked off by Bryce Martin, who clears just out of play up over the glass on the near corner. Face off in the neutral zone, the near side hash mark beside the Caledonia bench. Purdy and Mackenzie Passero on the draw. Passero slaps it ahead. Bryce Martin up the center ice by the top of the Caledonia blue line for Mac Passero. Passero now down into the corner, and Volpatti at the end line, held up against the board by McEnany, and McEnany the pass past Patton all the way down the far wall, and Conway out to play it up and around the board. Ratchford at his own blue line, the pass missing Connor Bramwell, the pass in behind his back. Bramwell changing on the play, and as he missed the pass and the play resulting in an automatic icing, as a result, Bramwell will have to stay on and not take that change. 3 minutes into period number one, the Corvairs win the draw within their own zone. Purdy brings it down the far side, the pass too far ahead of him. Declan Conway, far board, and kicking it to his skate is the number 3 defender, the ex-Welland Canadian, Riley Mocha. Holden Garland, the leading scorer for the Fort Erie Meteors. Richard DeMarco, a point ahead of him on the Fort Erie squad, but DeMarco a scratch for tonight's game. Trublin to Lepore, and the hard shot by Lepore from the high slot, and a big block there by Bryce Martin. Ratchford back to the neutral zone. And it's picked up by Holden Garland and cleared down the far side along the ice. Brought into the corner by Ratchford. Out to play it is the defender Martin, and Bryce Martin leveled in behind the Fort Erie net. Nonetheless, the Meteors able to come the other way. Martin leveled by the 6'1" Matt Hoare. 6'2", excuse me. Gomes across the left side, and the pass into Bush. Bush the lead in, and Bush a clear break in toward the Fort Erie net. Bush fired it, and a pad save by Liam Conway. Bush breaking free and nearly getting the first Caledonia goal. A face-off in the left circle Fort Erie zone. Bush with Peacock on the left. Peacock fires a shot. It hit Gomes and bounced to the Fort Erie winger down the left wing, Alex Huron. Van Horn, the cross ice feed. Van Horn back behind his own net, up to Abraham. Abraham past the end line. Plays it down the near board. Bush to the right side, and the shot tipped wide by Connor Patton. Patton with speed down the right side. And the quick shot just wide of the Fort Erie net. Here come the Meteors down the near side. Hoare breaks it up, tries to lead Luke Sinclair. Trying to find Sinclair at the Fort Erie blue line. Six minutes into period number one. No score between the Fort Erie Meteors and Caledonia Corvairs. Forsland throws a pass down beside the Fort Erie bench. Bryce Martin goes in behind his own net. A attempted hit by Kyle Tanev. And Hoare firing a shot wide off the near side board, and he goes in behind the Fort Erie net to retrieve the disc. Forsland around the board. Tristan Drescher plays it to his own right circle, and the shot by Forsland. Forsland trying to use the traffic in front as a screen, and now sends it back to McEnany as the Corvairs regroup in the neutral zone. Play to center ice, the pass to Declan Conway broken up, and the Corvairs on the turnover. Bramwell to the far side. Patton with a chance inside the right circle. Forsland hit Conway in the back, and Conway retaliates by hitting Patton with a solid hit inside the neutral zone between his own blue line and the center ice red line. Centering pass, and Purdy off the far corner tries to hit Patton. Falling in the corner is the Fort Erie Meteor. Patton hitting his man in the far corner. That was Bryce Martin. The shot and a high save on the right shoulder off the shot by Patton. Two solid shots by Patton on that shift. Still no score, 8 minutes in. Caledonia with the Purdy in on the net. Broke down the left side. The shot from far out by Blunt. Blunt on the left side of the blue line, and Conway able to make the save with the left glove. With 12:01 remaining in the first, we'll take a break. You're watching Caledonia Corvairs hockey on YouTube. Welcome back. Draw inside the right circle as Passero and Tanev fall to the ice on the draw. Tanev managing to get it back to the defender. The Meteors clearing down the far side, and here comes Lepore, and he's hit heavily against the boards by Vincent Robbins. Play at the half wall, near side. Moran moves up to make a hit and gets caught. Passero to the far side. Mac Passero down the left wing, trying to hit Daniel Volpatti on the 2-on-1. Tanev, the shot underneath the circle. The shot by Tanev under the right circle. Conway got a little bit of it, but Tanev there almost tweaking it inside the near post. Peacock now beside the near end line. Gomes behind the net. The shot by Peacock with Bush in front of him. And a high stick coming up here for the game's first penalty. The Corvairs go to the power play as Pavlo Civillotti goes to the box for a high stick. Bush from the left circle, Peacock on the left, Gomes on the right, and Ratchford and Van Horn, the two defenders. Ratchford to Van Horn, back to Ratchford. Van Horn, sidewall. Ratchford winds up and fires. Peacock tips wide on the near side. So a hooking. Peacock to the net. The linesman making the signal down below the end line. Easy to confuse the difference between a high stick call and a hook. Relatively the same motion with the hands by the linesman. Bush back to the line. Ratchford fakes the shot. Over to Van Horn. 1:31 remaining on the Caledonia power play. Van Horn winds up. The shot hits traffic. Robbins and Martin with attempted blocks. Van Horn down the far board. The shot to the net. Gomes the shot. And Ratchford trying a tip in front. Bush to the net now. Peacock from the end line. Turns around near corner. Centering pass. Bush. Peacock the rebound. Bush and Peacock with shots. And the wrist shot and a glove save by Conway on the Bush wrister. So Bush with two shots. Peacock with one. And the Corvairs yet to find the game's opening goal. 56 seconds remaining on the penalty to Civillotti. Sinclair in the draw over to the right side on the face-off win. McEnany down the far board to Tanev. Sinclair to Hoare. Hoare beside the right circle. Back to the point to McEnany. Across to Blunt. The feed into the circle, going circle to circle. Caledonia doing a nice job cycling the puck now on the power play. Circle to circle and between the points. Blunt, top of the line. Hoare, an open shot, and he fires high up over the net and off the glass. Tanev in the corner, back to the point. McEnany winds up, and a pad save by Liam Conway. Tanev to the far wall. Blunt across to the right circle, back to the point. McEnany winds up the shot, blocked over to the right, and Civillotti back on the ice for Fort Erie now. And the Meteors back to full strength. Caledonia with 4 or 5 excellent opportunities on that power play. 15.7% on the year on the PP, but unable to connect there. Tanev down the far side board. Martin inside the line, slapped away by Purdy. Purdy with the interception. Bramwell beside the end line. The centering pass, Bramwell looking for Purdy, and broken up by Declan Conway. Wisely sends it down the far board. 7:58 to go, first period of play. Purdy ahead to Bramwell. Bramwell beside the left circle finds Patton free. The pass evading Connor Patton. Forsland from the left. Bramwell beside the left circle. Purdy falling to his knees and firing a shot off the outside of the post is Connor Patton. The shot from the right side by Abraham deflected into the near corner. Purdy winds up. The rebound, Bramwell to the backhand. Caledonia with lots of pressure in this opening frame, but still no score with 7:15 remaining. Conway out of the net. Trublin from the far board. Martin on him. The shot. A shot far corner by Lepore. And Conway getting the right pad down. Forsland around the board. Trublin checked heavily by Holden Garland. Moran at the left side of the blue line into the corner. Sinclair now behind the net for Trublin. Sinclair gets it back. Trublin near corner. Down the half wall. Sinclair the cross ice feed. The pass wide of the net along the ice and picked up and cleared by Fort Erie. Riley Hollowell to the far corner. Lepore hit by the charging Joe Costello on the far side. And a delayed call here as Mark Sinclair going to the Caledonia bench. The sixth attacker, Peacock, now on for Caledonia as Hollowell finally able to touch it at the center ice red line. This game brought to you by real estate sales representative Roland Archer of Remax Land Exchange as the Corvairs head to their second power play. If you're in the market to buy or sell a property, give them a call at 519-755-7409 or email them at roland@rolandarcher.ca. You can visit them online at remaxlandexchange.ca. Bush in the draw, Peacock on the left wing, Gomes on the right, Ratchford and Van Horn on the points. So the same five group of players that were on for the first Caledonia power play. Shot by the number 3 defender Van Horn, kicked aside by Conway. Broken up, and it looks like just a 10-minute misconduct, a head check to Costello. Gomes whips it around the boards. Peacock the half wall, back to Peacock on the return feed from Van Horn. Ratchford, Van Horn down to the right side. A fake shot by Bush into the net and broken up by Kenny. He's unable to clear. Ratchford to the top of the blue line. Ratchford the shot. And it hit Bush in the back of the right skate. Fort Erie able to clear down the far side with 5:04 remaining in the period. 1 minute to go in the head check to Joe Costello. Patton half wall to the right side of the blue line for McEnany. They work it around the outside. Ratchford the shot. It hits Bramwell, comes to the number 5 defender Bryce Martin. Martin clears to center. And Purdy back for the Corvairs with 35 seconds remaining in the Caledonia power play. Bramwell, or Patton, excuse me, whips it around the board to the far half wall. And it's intercepted by Josh McAuliffe and cleared down the far side. Blunt, the cross ice feed beside the Caledonia bench. It's broken up by Declan Conway. And out to play it is Sinclair. Purdy falling on the near corner. Blunt with it in beyond the end line. Fort Erie losing a blowout last weekend against the St. Catharines Falcons by a score of 7-0. Looking to redeem themselves tonight as Declan Conway goes heavily down toward the net on the near side, knocking Sinclair over. No call on Conway. Sinclair knocked heavily back toward the back of the Caledonia net, now taking his helmet off and readjusting his gear with 3:46 remaining. Head-to-head, Caledonia 2-1 on the year against the Meteors. One of their only 2 losses, the 1-0 loss to Fort Erie back on September the 25th. The other being the 3-0 loss to the Welland Junior Canadians. The Corvairs at 2-2 at that point in the year. Caledonia on an impressive 19-game losing streak currently, and once again chasing the league record of 25 games, tied last year by the Kitchener Dutchmen, tying the original mark of the 85-86 Stratford Culletons. Shot by Sinclair. Abraham from the outside hammers a heavy shot along the ice. Hoare to the right side. Kenny up against the boards. The Meteors play it in behind their own net. Tanev tries to toss it down the far side. It's broken up by Riley Mocha. And the Meteors able to get a partial change as Forsland plays it down the far board for Matt Hoare. The defense once again breaking up the play. Martin looking for Romeo Diantino. Down the far board, Lepore with speed. The wraparound saw Trublin on the far side. Lepore the shot. And an excellent shift by Tyler Lepore. Wrapped it around the near corner. I don't know how he saw the wide open Trublin. Trublin parked right against the far post. 2:23 to go, so Lepore with the possible assist there, and then the big shot down through the 2 hash marks. Moran with the shot from the left side. Purdy in the corner moves a backhand pass for Lepore, and it ends up back at the left side of the blue line. Ratchford to center. Hollowell back to Bryce Martin. Martin to the far board. The Meteors still stuck in their own zone before they throw it back to the Caledonia side of the blue line. Hollowell with the disc now. He backhands it to the far side. Trublin from center to the far corner. Trublin heading to the net along with Mitch Purdy on the left side. And the Meteors break it up. Mac Passero and Riley Mocha on for the Meteors. Alex Huron as well, so the Meteors getting a partial change of 3 players. Falling on the far corner is the defender Mocha, and Peacock looking to capitalize, gives it to Moran, back to Peacock. Peacock spins around in behind the net. The pass to Bush. Peacock held up against the wall by Passero. Bush in the far corner. And Volpatti down the far wall before it ends up in the neutral zone. Gomes now bringing it right back for Caledonia, the centering pass. Bush, the centered backhand pass, looking for Peacock under the right circle. Peacock to the right circle. Peacock, high slot, the shot through traffic. Gomes the rebound, and Gomes was robbed. Peacock with the initial shot. Gomes grabbing the rebound, the centering pass. Gomes once again looking for Peacock. And the whistle going with 13.7 seconds remaining in the first. The Corvairs applying all sorts of pressure in this first period of play, but still no score towards the end of the first period. Purdy, the puck still stuck in the left circle, and Bramwell pinning his man Civilotti against the near side board as time expires. Mac Passero and Mitch Purdy in there as well. All kinds of pressure by the Corvairs in the first frame. Nearly every Corvair forward involved in the shots on net process, and somehow some good shots from the points as well. A couple power plays for the Corvairs in there, but no scoring through one period. As we go to the first intermission, it's the Caledonia Corvairs 0 and the Fort Erie Meteors also at 0. Fort Erie already on their bench to start the second. Caledonia last to come out. The Corvairs with the 17-2 shots on goal advantage through 1 period of play. Caledonia carrying the play through period number 1, but unable to hit the back of the net. Bush on the opening draw opposite Wade Kenny. Kenny wins it to Vincent Robbins across to Bryce Martin, and the shot from far out practically at the red line, and Sinclair hanging on. The Falcons, as mentioned in the first, playing last Saturday at the Metroplex and losing 7-0 against the St. Catharines Falcons. The shot on net covered up by Sinclair. Tyler Morrison had 2 goals and an assist in that game. Tyler Jackson had a goal and 3 assists. Manny Mans added 3 helpers. The Falcons with the 33-11 shots on goal advantage, so the Falcons tripling up the Meteors on that night, and the shot by Declan Conway, and Sinclair with the save. Currently it's St. Catharines leading the Niagara Falls Canucks by a score of 3-1 in the second. 8:45 to go in the second frame at the Jack Gatecliff Arena. Purdy down the left side. Purdy unhappy that the puck was taken away. Slam Martin into the boards. Still in there. A check high toward the upper shoulder. No call 50 seconds into period number 2. Bramwell to the far side. Van Horn. The shot is wide. Purdy to the line. Van Horn winds up and fires a shot along the ice, wide and into the near corner. Purdy behind the net, tries to sneak a backhand pass out front. Ratchford winds up and fires a pass around the wall, picked up by Patton. Van Horn, Ratchford. The shot by Ratchford just over the glass and out of play. 1 minute and 26 seconds into period number 2. Lambton Shores doubling up the St. Thomas Stars by a score of 2-1 with 2:15 remaining in the first. 1-0 Ancaster over the Pelham Panthers at the first intermission. Hoare down the wall. Tanev lets it go. Hollowell tries to clear. Forsland up the boards. Hoare in behind the net, and it's snapped away by Declan Conway. Drescher plays it in on net, and Sinclair directs it to the near corner. Riley Mocha slaps it inside the line, picked off by Forsland. His shoot in from center hits the backboard on the far side, and Liam Conway out to play it, out and up the far side board. Here's a shot, the big shot by the number 9 forward, the newest addition to the Corvairs, Luke Sinclair. Luke and Mark arriving for Caledonia on the same day. Abraham the shot from far out, and a shot from the near corner, and Hoare parked underneath the left circle as well. So 2 more shots for the Corvairs on either side of the Fort Erie net. Following the first period, 17 shots on net. The Corvairs on a 19-game losing streak, winning 2-1 Sunday night in Welland. Lepore pokes it ahead. The Fort Erie Meteor, the number 24 forward, Daniel Volpatti, falling down on the play. Huron plays it down the far wall. Lepore to center, hit by Civilotti and loses the disc in the process. A bouncing puck to the neutral zone. Moran up the board. Huron brings it over the left side before it's broken up by McEnany, so Civilotti plays it down the far board. Whipped around the wall. McEnany, the bank pass beside the Fort Erie bench. Lepore back to the defender McEnany, up the wall for Gomes, and the pass ahead broken up by Mac Passero. Gomes into the corner. Gomes still fighting with Civilotti on him, and the pass into the slot slapped away by Robbins, and Drescher brings it excuse me, Drescher bringing it between the hash marks. Gomes down the far side this time. Gomes on the near side on the last rush. Blunt to Van Horn. The shot by Van Horn along the ice, partially deflected by Holden Garland. Garland, the feed ahead slightly down the right side to Drescher. And then the drop pass to Riley Mocha. And hanging on for the save was Mark Sinclair. Fort Erie, losers of 2 straight, 1-4 in their last 5 games. The linesman unhappy with the face-off, and will redo that one again on the left face-off circle, Caledonia zone, out to the right stick side of Sinclair. Wade Kenny with Declan Conway on the left wing. McAuliffe on the left point, Garland on the right wing. Caledonia winning the draw, Purdy in that left circle, and now Patton the feed, and a diving Purdy. Purdy diving to the front of the net, trying to poke it between the legs of Conway. The shot wide. Purdy unable to get the shot away. Bryce Martin in the box for the slash. Got Purdy in between the legs. Purdy stays out for the draw in the left circle Fort Erie zone. Bramwell on the right wing. Purdy wins the draw. The shot by Ratchford, they score! Todd Ratchford on the point, the top of the blue line, and it looks like Bramwell will get credit for tipping it at the top of the blue paint. Bramwell loose right at the top of Liam Conway's crease. Bramwell from Ratchford with 15:07 remaining in the first. The Corvairs now with the 1-0 lead. Forsland getting the first assist at 4:53. Forsland in the 27 sweater, Ratchford in the 95. I'm pretty sure they're going to change that assist to Ratchford. Just a reminder, fans, on that first assist on the Caledonia goal, some dispute between my point of view and the PA announcers, so please go to www.gojhl.ca. There you can find all of tonight's scores, the box scores, as well as scoring and goaltending leaders for the GOJHL. The official standings as we head toward the Christmas break and the GOJHL All-Star game. A downed Caledonia player, Abraham, having to be helped off to the Caledonia dressing room. Abraham shaking his head. Let's hope the captain is okay. Abraham seems to be favoring his right ankle, and he has to be helped to the room by Forsland and Moran. Fort Erie, as we mentioned a couple minutes ago, 1-4 in their last 5 games, and here's a fight. Can't see from my broadcast position as the fans standing up right in front of us. The number 11 sweater, Tristan Drescher, and throwing a couple right hands was the Caledonia player, Forsland. Forsland off to the room, sticking up for his captain, Justin Abraham. Abraham on the previous shift injured. My apologies on the call of the fight. A fan stood up right directly in front of our broadcast location and couldn't see around that group of fans to call the fight beside the Caledonia bench. Purdy to take the draw in the neutral zone. Patton on the right wing. Gomes on the left. And now the coaching staff for Fort Erie and the head referee having a heated discussion. Conway from center. Patton to Bramwell. Bramwell cuts to the forehand. Bramwell backhand to forehand. The shot by Blunt from the left side. Forsland and Drescher, game misconduct. McEnany leads the body into Bryce Martin, or Declan Conway, excuse me, and Conway hit once again by Blunt. And the Caledonia defense now beginning to get very physical, as McEnany hitting Volpatti on the near side board. McAuliffe inside the blue line. Kicking it with the left skate and cleared by Blunt. McAuliffe to center, tipped in by Holden Garland. Kenny to the net, and Sinclair making the wise decision to hold on. Upcoming games for these two teams. Caledonia and Fort Erie right back at it tomorrow night, 7:15 at the Metroplex. Draw won by the Corvairs. Luke Sinclair to Ratchford, now waiting in behind his own net. Caledonia and Niagara Falls next Friday at the Gale Center, 7:30 p.m. That's December the 19th. And St. Catharines, the third place team in the Golden Horseshoe Conference, in next Saturday for a 7:30 p.m. game at the HCCC. Fort Erie in Thorold Wednesday night, a 7:07 game. Sinclair in past the end line, Ratchford up the boards. The high arcing pass gloved down by the left hand of Sinclair. Kenny from the far side, Ratchford in behind the net. Huron the back pass into the slot for Garland. And the pass too far for Van Horn, broken up by Bryce Martin. Sinclair a hit. Civilotti shakes off that hit. gets two hands up on Sinclair and does it again, and Sinclair doesn't like it, and the two players pushing and shoving there seconds ago. The play through center, the long pass, Mac Passero on the feed inside the line by Civilotti. McEnany inside the Caledonia line. Plays it down the far side board. It deflects off Mac Passero. Moran to the far side. McEnany cross ice feed for Peacock. Peacock with Gomes to his slight right. And it's picked off and intercepted to the line. Passero plays it back to center. Broken up by Moran. A bouncing puck gathered in by Gomes. Peacock hits his man Volpatti. McEnany, the turnaround pass off the board for Lepore. Lepore, a 3-on-2 developing. Gomes behind the play. Peacock to the net. Lepore the shot. Peacock parked at the side of the net. Lepore, the quick wrister, shot by Peacock. Hit the inside of the near post. And deflected out the near side. Gomes back to the inside the Caledonia line. McEnany up to the neutral ice. Gomes the shot by Hoare, and Hoare hits the outside of the far post. Two goal posts within a 30-second span for the Corvairs. Caledonia in the 1-0 lead. Bramwell at the 4:53 mark. Declan Conway. It was the point shot by Forsland. I'm giving that assist to Todd Ratchford. Bramwell tipping it in front. We'll take a break with 10:08 remaining. Second period of play. You're watching Caledonia Corvairs hockey on YouTube. Welcome back. The Meteors go to the power play. They win the draw. Mocha to the outside and fired wide by Declan Conway. Merton to the end line. The Corvairs to the box for hooking. Bryce Martin slaps it down. Got his stick up to underneath the arm height, so no high stick. Martin the pass off the far side board. Mocha works it to the right point. Cross ice feed into the circle for Holden Garland. The shot, Garland to the net. A big shot by Declan Conway, the 5'10" right winger. Garland in behind the net. Van Horn breaks it up to the side wall. The shot by Conway to the net, spun around far side. It comes back in front. Mocha looking for a shot. Fort Erie trying to poke it in at the far side and tie things up. .31 seconds remaining in the Caledonia penalty. Kenny a shot and a nice save by Sinclair off the right blocker. In behind the net, poking away and falling to the ice is Alex Huron. McAuliffe around the outside, the shot, side of the net, the cross crease pass off the far corner by Huron. Fort Erie, no one there on the left side for a tap in. So we remain at 1-0 Caledonia. But the Corvairs will go to their second consecutive penalty kill as McEnany to the box for the Corvairs. Fort Erie hosting the Welland Junior Canadians on Saturday, December the 20th for a 7:15 game. So these two teams play again tomorrow night. The, as mentioned, Fort Erie Thorold game, then Welland in Fort Erie, and Ancaster in Fort Erie on the 28th of December for a 5:15 p.m. game. The Corvairs, their final game before the Christmas break on the Monday, December the 22nd, against the Ancaster Avalanche here at the HCCC, a 7:30 game. Van Horn rips it around the far wall from the end line. Blunt plays it off the far board and out. 1:27 remaining in the penalty to McEnany. 7:31 left in the second period. Purdy tripped up in the neutral zone, and Declan Conway, with his arms up in the air, doesn't like the fact that he's going to sit down for 2 minutes. This game brought to you by real estate sales representative Roland Archer of Remax Land Exchange. If you're in the market to buy or sell a property, give them a call at 519-755-7409 or email them at roland@rolandarcher.ca as the Corvairs win the draw, but Garland intercepts and takes it down the left wing, loses the puck inside the left circle to Ryan Blunt. The shot by Van Horn widen off the glass, and Garland plays it out of play just over top the Caledonia bench and into the fans in the stands. You can also visit Roland on the previously mentioned ad online at remaxlandexchange.ca. Ratchford to the neutral zone, slapped away by Costello. The shot by Kenny, the quick wrister. And Sinclair taking the blocker and directing it into the near corner. Mocha winds up. Kenny top of the line. Sinclair underneath him, far side. Gomes to the net. Sinclair on his own side of center. For the wind-up, the shot, and Conway the save. Hoare with the quick, hard shot from the right side of the Fort Erie circle. Conway with a hard save on the far corner to prevent Hoare from extending the Caledonia lead to 2-0. .607 remaining second period of play. 29 seconds remaining in the Caledonia power play. Ratchford to the far board. Ratchford has a look and fires wide off the near side board. Picked up by Peacock in behind the net. Lepore top of the slot, and the shot wide by Ratchford. Ratchford with two shots wide on the near corner. Ratchford to the side wall. Hoare in the slot. And Lepore the shot in tight along the ice. And Conway with another big save. The earlier save on Hoare, a big stop for Conway. And now Lepore on the far side. Lepore loose in between the two hash marks, and the shot low to the ice. 5:20 remaining in the second as the whistle goes. D'Antino and Purdy in the draw. Bramwell Out to Purdy's right. The shot by Blunt off the draw, deflected wide. Bramwell to the net, and the net off the mooring on the far corner. Purdy in behind the net as well, looking for a shot. Face off from the same spot. Same players for Caledonia involved on the second draw. Patton on the left wing. McEnany keeps it in. His shot off Mocha, and they score! Side of the net. Patton plays it down low to the near corner, and tipping it in just inside the near corner is Connor Bramwell for his second goal. 5:01 remaining in the second period of play, and the Caledonia Corvairs double up their lead to 2-0. D'Antino wins the draw, back to Mocha, slid up the wall by Hollowell. Bramwell, the second goal, unassisted.
Corvairs' second goal, solo effort to 13. Bramwell, his second of the game.
The puck hit Mocha there in front of the net, so they're going to give Bramwell credit for the goal. No assist on the play. I thought the Corvairs might draw an assist off the original shot off the top of the blue line, but Riley Mocha getting a piece of it. It deflected to the near corner, and Bramwell poking it inside the near post. Trublin back to the point, throwing it in from center is Moran. Martin checked up against the board by Ratchford. Ratchford neutral zone. Plays it in behind the Fort Erie net. Bush in the corner, Trublin there as well. Bush shaking the puck free past Civilotti. In behind the net, Bush tying up his man. Under the 4-minute mark now, second period of play. Bramwell with two goals for the Corvairs at the 4:53 mark and at 14:59 of the second. Sinclair in the draw, Gomes out to the right, and now the face-off being moved back to the neutral zone. Sinclair with Peacock on the right-hand side, and the shot from far out by Ratchford, gloved down by Conway. Sinclair in the draw. He won the draw, but Garland moved in between the defense, intercepted, and played it down the far wall. Two players go crashing into the far end boards, met simultaneously. A heavy hit by Ratchford and Declan Conway. Conway spun around, picked off by Peacock. Two players for each side involved on the far board now. Peacock under the end line. Moran moves to the far sidewall. Made a nice play to poke it into the corner. Moved a long distance off the left blue line to make a play down the far side wall. Sinclair beside the left circle. Back to Blunt, and Blunt missing the pass, the puck in behind his back. The Corvairs 12 points ahead of the Welland Junior Canadians following the win on Sunday night, the 2-1 victory. And 15 points ahead of the St. Catharines Falcons. The Falcons at 16-9-4 on the year. Van Horn, the shot, it hits Hoare and deflects into the near corner. Intercepted and played back to the neutral zone. The puck played down over the Caledonia blue line. And the free disc picked up by Van Horn slid across to Blunt, and Blunt's play off the back end board. Tanev to Hoare. It's taken away by Alex Huron. A bouncing puck deep into the Caledonia zone near side. Hoare to Tanev. Tanev over the left, stops at the, or beside the left circle rather, and under a minute to play in the second now. Play near wall, Hoare the shot. Ratchford tries to turn around, Ratchford almost having the puck hit him in the back on the left side. Tried to turn around and fire a shot on the forehand at the same time. Mac Passero firing the disc the length of the ice. Caledonia looking for their third win of the year against the Meteors. The Meteors with the shocking 1-0 win back here on September the 25th. Slapped around the boards by Martin. McEnany back for Caledonia, and an automatic icing on the far side, Caledonia zone. Richard DeMarco with the lone goal in that 1-0 win. DeMarco scratched for tonight's game. Bramwell to the right side for Ratchford, plays it around the board. Patton back to the end line. The free puck picked up by the Meteors. Slapped down the board by McEnany. McAuliffe to center, in behind the back of Huron, and picked up by McEnany. He plays it to the near board for Ratchford. Out of the net is Conway to play it. Conway the last to touch the puck in the second period. No scoring in the first. 2 goals by Connor Bramwell in the second. The second on the power play unassisted at the 14:59 mark. And at the end of 2 periods of play, it's the Caledonia Corvairs 2 and the Fort Erie Meteors no score. The Corvairs with 2 goals in the second, following none in the first. The Corvairs out shooting the Meteors 38-9 in shots on goal following 2 periods. Bramwell scoring at the 4:53 mark, and on the power play at 14:59 as Wade Kenny wins the opening draw, period number 3 for the Meteors. Purdy plays it to the far board, broken up by Robbins. Van Horn through center. Purdy to the left wing, fires it off the far end board. Purdy the turnaround along the end line. Ratchford into the corner. Purdy into the circle for Ratchford. Ratchford getting a piece of the pass before going to the far wall to gather it in. Pass back to the blue line, broken up by Declan Conway. The shot and the high shot, the wrister by Conway into the high upper chest of Mark Sinclair. And Sinclair hanging on to make the save. St. Catharines 3, Niagara Falls 2. 8:45 remaining, third period of play. 5-2 St. Thomas over Lambton Shores in the second period, or at the intermission rather. So St. Thomas with a 3-goal lead at the second intermission. Ancaster 1, Pelham no score, also at intermission number 2. And Huron tries to play it ahead, looking for Costello down underneath the slot area. And it's broken up, far wall up to Hoare at center. Hoare going one-on-one with Josh McAuliffe. And McAuliffe gives Hoare hands to the face. Conway down in the corner as well. Hoare and Conway coming together, and McAuliffe doesn't like it. And Hoare to the box for the Corvairs. Caledonia fans off to our right don't like the call, as they're claiming Conway should have been able to stay on his feet on that near side. A face-off back down in the Caledonia zone out to the left glove hand side of Mark Sinclair. And Luke Sinclair plays it back behind the Caledonia net. McEnany up the wall. Garland back to the wall, held up there by Luke Sinclair. Declan Conway down to the right side of the line. The high arcing pass, no one there for Fort Erie. Sinclair into forecheck. Martin, the cross ice feed. Shot by Garland, broken up by Patton and sent out to center, and it's tipped back to the defense by Romeo Diantino. Pass down the far side. Automatic icing down the far wall Caledonia zone. Elmira 3, Brampton no score. Second period, 8:32 remaining. Listowel and Stratford tied at 1 at the second intermission at Allman Arena. And it's the Strathroy Rockets 2 and the St. Mary's Lincolns 1 with 2:18 remaining. Second period of play. Ratchford to the backhand. And it's taken off the wall by Bryce Martin and his shot along the ice. And Sinclair hanging on to preserve the donut so far. 17:23 remaining, third period of play. Mac Passero in the draw. Daniel Volpatti on the right wing. Played in behind the Caledonia net, picked up by Moran. He plays it to the right circle. Patton on a break, and he scores! Connor Patton on the break, the feed up for Moran. Patton finding himself wide open inside the Fort Erie zone. Patton got behind the Fort Erie defense, went one-on-one, got behind the defender, and fired a high wrist shot to the far corner. Connor Patton with his 9th goal on the year, his 28th point, and the Caledonia Corvairs now with the 3-0 lead.
Scored by number 16, Connor Patton.
Shot from far out, deflected wide and off the board, off to the right of Sinclair.
By 16, Patton, unassisted.
Patton with the, Patton with the short-handed marker, as Hoare still in the box for the Corvairs for another 7 seconds. The hard shot there over the right circle by Joe Costello. Hoare tangled up with Conway, the Fort Erie netminder. Some dispute on whether that should have actually been a call on Matt Hoare. In my opinion, and to the fans off to my right's dismay, I'd probably have to say no. Trublin to Bush, broken up by Mocha, who deflects it to the far side. The backhander, Trublin, fires wide along the ice to the near corner. Glove down by McEnany. Bush to Blunt. The pass off the far board, just over center. Deflected in by McAuliffe, and he goes off on a change. Pass down the far side wall, the cross ice feed for McEnany. McEnany with Garland on his back, stops at the left, and the shot by Blunt, and a blocker save by Conway. Hollowell far board. He throws in a clearing attempt before Blunt hits him heavily. One step off a center. A 2-on-1 develops, and Hoare tries to hit Tanev off to his left. Hoare on the break. Two players for Caledonia on the 2-on-1, one in each circle. Tanev on the left circle, Hoare inside the right, and Tanev now plays it back to the right side of the blue line, and it's backhanded to the near corner now by Luke Sinclair. Tanev, backhand pass, Moran, and Bush tries to tap it in down the near side, or Hoare rather. And on the back check, Moran knocks his man off the puck. Ratchford to the net. Ratchford dropped it back to the right wing and headed straight for the net. And Luke Sinclair had a shot to the, or inside the right circle. Probably would have been better off with an inbound feed to the charging Ratchford. Lepore plays it around the boards in behind the Fort Erie net. Ratchford winds up side of the net, the rebound coming off the pads of Conway, and Tanev unable to tuck it in at the far side. Van Horn around the far end line. Back across for Lepore. Robbins patting to the net. Robbins got caught inside the left circle, and Bramwell to the backhand on the far side looking for the hat trick. Bramwell unassisted at the 14:59 mark of the second. Bramwell now in a fight on the far corner at the half wall. Bramwell feeding his man with right hands, continuous right hands. McAuliffe regrouping a little bit now, and Bramwell ties his man up over the shoulders on the far board. I'd have to say Bramwell got the better of that fight. McAuliffe with a little retaliation in the back half, but Bramwell with a flurry of right hands on the far side. Bramwell with 2 goals, nearly a third on the backhand, and if that's a game misconduct, he won't get a chance at the hat trick. Perhaps what McAuliffe had in mind when he took him out of the equation on the far side. Purdy from the draw, right circle. Back to the right board. Played around the near side to the end line. Gomes around the net. The Meteors intercept, bring it back to center. and it's dumped in by Volpatti. The Corvairs take it on the far board. Purdy pins his man there. The puck squirts free. McEnany picks it up to the half wall. McEnany tries to bring it up himself. He's knocked off the puck by two Meteors. Huron tried to make a play down the far side. Now it's Van Horn. Gomes behind him. Van Horn trying a drop pass. Purdy to the far board. Blunt to center. 2-on-1. Purdy to the right side. Purdy couldn't get control of the puck. It looked like they'd get a 2-on-1 there down on the underside of the right circle. Gomes the drop to Moran. Bush in behind the net. Bush to the right side, across to Moran at the left, and the shot. Moran's shot whistled wide off the far corner. Blunt unable to keep it in. Trublin from neutral ice. Peacock with Bush behind him. The shot. And the shot by Peacock underneath the left shoulder of Conway. Peacock from behind. Declan Conway to the net. The shot. And Sinclair sitting down to make the save. The puck in between his legs. Stoppage in play. 11:24 remaining third period. We'll take a break. You're watching Caledonia Corvairs hockey on YouTube. Face off inside the left circle Caledonia zone. The Meteors win it, but it's picked up by Van Horn and cleared. Conway to the right circle. Kenny to center, over to Garland, crossing the Caledonia blue line. Declan Conway into the corner, out to the left, and Mocha offside as he's unable to corral the bouncing puck. The Meteors make a line change, the face-off coming into the neutral zone. This game brought to you by Real Estate Sales Representative Roland Archer of Remax Land Exchange. If you're in the market to buy or sell a property, give Roland a call at 519-755-7409 or email him at roland@rolandarcher.ca. You can visit him online at remaxlandexchange.ca. Martin behind his own end line decides to carry it out the far side. The pass ahead broken up by Radford. Sinclair goes one-on-one on the far side before Kenny gets back for the Meteors. And now Kenny inside his own left circle. Crosses Lepore, goes down on the forehand, now chasing it into the near corner. Kenny losing it off the front of the blade, angled down the left side of the Caledonia zone. He went to the near corner to retrieve the disc. Kenny now beside the left circle. The spin around in behind the end line to Declan Conway. In behind the net, Sinclair back to the play. It's intercepted by Ratchford. He's hooked under the arm by Declan Conway. And a penalty coming up here to Conway on the hook. Ratchford continues on. Ratchford stopped up at the far circle, or beside the far right circle. Ratchford hooked under the arm by Conway. And the Corvairs to a power play in 6 seconds. with 9:30 remaining in the third. McEnany to Blunt, back to McEnany. McEnany down the right side, the shot by Gomes. Conway making the save in the logo. Deflected the disc from the logo back down to his left glove.
Winning ticket number 0255.
Hoare to Blunt, left side of the blue line, across to McEnany. Rings it around the wall for Gomes. Hoare at the end line to Blunt, and the pass back to Blunt hops off his stick, and Blunt back inside his own zone to regroup with Alex Huron forechecking. McEnany over the right, checked against the wall by Mocha. Gomes to the end line. Hoare over top the left circle, in behind the near end line. Gomes to the far right corner, across to Blunt. Blunt tries a cross ice feed, but it's broken up by D'Antino. Sinclair out of the net, plays it up in a hurry. Patton the back pass, and the number 12 forward Costello hitting Gomes. Broken up, D'Antino trying to go in on a short-handed break, and Romeo D'Antino trying it again, this time getting behind Van Horn. D'Antino getting behind Van Horn twice, but Van Horn able to get back late on the far side both times. The shot fired wide by Hoare. Trublin in the far corner beside the right circle, and it's cleared the length of the ice by Daniel Volpatti. Fort Erie back to 5-on-5 hockey now. The bouncing puck into the neutral zone. Too far for the number 22 forward Garland, and the shot by Van Horn, and Conway catching a piece of that, directing it into the near corner. Radford, the spinning backhand pass. Garland takes it away, and Martin plays it up beside the near side board in between the two benches. Pass up to center off Sinclair. He's stopped up by Pavlo Civilotti. The shot and a deflection off the pad of Conway and out of play. A Caledonia shot there off the right side. Once again, the Corvairs with the large shots on goal advantage following 2 periods of play. 38-9 Corvairs. The Corvairs with the shots on goal advantage in all but one game this season. Ran up the half wall. Mocha around the far board. Picked off into the far corner. The shot by Hoare. Hoare, the pass out from Lepore. Lepore on the far corner. Hit Hoare over top the right circle. 2 steps off the right dot. Hoare looking for his first goal of the game. Bramwell with 2 in the second, and Connor Patton short-handed in the third. Play over center. Peacock down the right side, makes a move around the defender, and Peacock slides a backhand shot wide on the near corner. Gomes to the near corner. Ratchford called on a penalty on the out to the right-hand side of Liam Conway. 5:32 to go, third period of play, as Todd Ratchford sits down for 2 minutes. D'Antino and Purdy on the draw. Martin tries to keep it in at the right side of the blue line. A face-off to come outside the line. These two teams playing again the back end of the home and home tomorrow night. 7:15 Fort Erie Metroplex. Caledonia on the road Friday, December the 19th against the Niagara Falls Canucks. 7:30 p.m. game at the Gale Center. And St. Catharines, another home game a week from tomorrow against the St. Catharines Falcons. A 7:30 p.m. game here at the HCCC. Kenny winds up. Slapping at it far side, the shot by Martin. And Martin's shot. A step to the right in the slot, and Sinclair with the big glove save. 1:08 remaining in the penalty on Ratchford. D'Antino back to Conway, and Conway right off the draw fires a shot up and out of play. D'Antino to the net, the bouncing puck. Garland beside the left circle, the turnaround. Martin the shot from across the end line, and Sinclair once again with a glove save. Mark Sinclair with just a .50 goals against average through 2 games with the Corvairs. Still a 0 score showing on the scoreboard for the Fort Erie Meteors. D'Antino up to Garland. Garland misses the pass. Moran around the boards. Blunt tries to yank it across the right side, kept in by Kenny. In behind the end line, the centering pass, it hits the back of the net and squirts free to the right side. Robbins over to Kenny. Kenny back to the left side after a shot across the near side circle. Kenny the shot, the rebound, the backhand pass across the crease. Declan Conway with a backhand shot on the near side. Picked up and cleared by the Corvairs. Ratchford charging hard to the net. Conway with a save. Ratchford losing his stick in the process. .322 to go. Third period of play. The Corvairs looking for their 11th home win on the year. 15-0-1 on the road. Their only blemish, the 1 overtime loss to the Kitchener Dutchmen back on showcase weekend. That way back in October. Also the Caledonia Corvairs' last loss. Caledonia at 19 straight wins, looking to extend to 20 tonight. Van Horn winds up, and the shot deflects off of Luke Sinclair up and out of play out the far corner. 9 seconds shy of the 3-minute mark, 2:51 remaining, third period of play. Mocha in behind the net. A little bit of confusion here as a Fort Erie player down the left wing with his arms up in the air. Joe Costello wondering what's going on as we'll redo the face-off from the left circle Fort Erie Meteor zone. Van Horn down below the near end line. The shot from outside To the net goes Hoare. Hoare and Luke Sinclair on the near corner underneath the left circle. Hoare nearly with a goal there, looking for Caledonia's 4th goal. Hoare with 15 goals on the year in the number 13 slot coming into tonight in league scoring. Davis Boyer of the Sarnia Legionnaires leading the league. 20 goals and 30 assists for 50 points. Civilotti across to Mocha with Tanev forechecking. Brendan Feasy of the Chatham Maroons. Tanev dumped a step inside his own line and a slash. No, now they're changing the signal, a cross-check signaled by the head referee, Wilmot. Off to the box is Declan Conway, and that should just about end the night here unless the Meteors can get a shorthanded goal. The Corvairs looking to end the night with a 3 or 4-0 win. Blunt, top of the blue line. Ratchford fakes a shot. Gomes the shot, side of the net. Peacock to Gomes. Gomes beside the right circle, plays it off the board in behind the Fort Erie net. Peacock ties his man up against the wall along with Bush. Hollowell shakes it off, manages to get in between the two players. Blunt to the right side, Peacock to the net, and Peacock falling to the ice with Passero on him. Gomes in behind the net for Peacock. Peacock, the backhander, tried to feed Ratchford at the top of the blue line. It's intercepted by Alex Huron. He clears the length of the ice down the far side. Gomes right back to the attack. Ratchford a shot. 26 seconds to go, third period. Ratchford the high shot. And Conway snatches the puck. Ratchford looking to pick the top shelf. Recapping tonight's scoring, no scoring in the first. Caledonia with the 17-2 shots on goal advantage. Excuse me. Connor Bramwell with the opening tally at the 4:53 mark of the second. McEnany to the side of the net. Van Horn inside the right circle. Bramwell unassisted on the power play. 14:59 of the second. Pushing and shoving on the far corner between Lepore and a Fort Erie player with his back to the play. Lepore and Civilotti pushing and shoving, and now one of the linesmen escorting Lepore to the sin bin. Just 1.3 seconds left in the game. Connor Patton, the only third period goal, shorthanded, getting in behind the defense and firing a wrist shot far side, making no mistake. The buzzer going, and Mark Sinclair getting the shutout. His second shutout as a member of the Caledonia Corvairs, registering the 1-0 win over the Thorold Blackhawks a couple weeks ago. Sinclair with the shutout for Caledonia. The 3 goals for Caledonia tonight, extending their season winning streak to a full 20 games. Once again, chasing the league record of 25, tied last year. 2 goals by Bramwell in the second. Connor Patton shorthanded, and the Corvairs win it by a final score of 3-0. The Corvairs' next home game, that'll be 1 week from tomorrow night, Saturday, December the 20th, against the St. Catharines Falcons, a 7:30 p.m. game. A reminder, get down to the Metroplex tomorrow night, the 7:15 game for the return engagement of the home and home against the Fort Erie Meteors. The Corvairs on the road tomorrow night for their 17th road game of the year. The Corvairs win tonight 3-0. Mark Sinclair with the shutout. Join us 1 week from tomorrow against the St. Catharines Falcons for ARC Pro HD's next home game, 7:30 p.m. at the HCCC. Good night from Caledonia, Ontario.